Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm back in the UK here at the Shmuseum where a few things have changed. You will spot the banners that are now flying around the outside. We have the Benpack auto stacker lifts installed, but today is time for the spontaneous collection of a new Ferrari, and not the SF90 Stradale that is arriving very soon, but no, the return finally of a V12 to the collection in the form of another new to me GTC4Lusso. We're going to be heading over to my Ferrari dealer HR Owen in London to go and collect the new car, to talk all about it, why I've decided to buy another Lusso, why I've returned to a V12 in the four-seater Ferrari, and plenty more about what's going on as well. I cannot wait. A very exciting day, a bit of a random out there purchase, but when you see this car, you will fully understand why. It is surreal that in the near future there will be two Ferraris in the Shmeemobiles for the first time, as my SF90 is now completed assembly, so it won't be long until that makes it over and we can go for delivery. But today is all about GTC4Lusso Round 2. Now, I sold my previous Lusso about 15 months ago, having owned before that the FF, and in fact I have the model just here of the previous Lusso, which was in TDF blue. My FF had been in blue Le Mans, and today's Lusso that we're going to collect is in a much darker shade called Blue Potsy. The SF90 is going to be in blue Electrico, four Ferraris, four different blues. That's quite funny when you think about it, but I clearly have a thing for these Ferrari shooting brakes. My first three Ferraris have all been the three-door, four-seat variants, the FF and the Lusso. Today's car has a stunning specification, which is pretty much why I fell for it, and the interior is a very close match to the spec that I've actually created for the SF90, and these two cars together are going to look insane, believe me. We will go to collect the car today. We will bring it back to the Shmuseum, where there have been plenty of updates on the Shmuseum channel, including all of the banners. We've got Michael Schumacher up there on the wall, and the installation of the auto stacker lifts, which have the cars seated on them at the moment down, obviously at floor level. You don't need to use any lift systems to get them up. There's plenty of space underneath, even for opening the doors of cars like the McLarens, for example, the butterfly doors, and we will probably start to need to use them when a few of the others have returned. Lots of cars out at the moment for services and different things like that, but thankfully the sun is out today. Even though it's winter, it's very cold. It's perfect, you could say, for a car like this. And in fact, back there I still have my winter wheel and tyre set from the previous Lusso, which maybe I'll need to use again if the weather turns nasty over the next couple of weeks. Either way, we've got some big plans for this car, so let's prepare to get on the road to head over to HR Owen Ferrari Mayfair to go pick up the new Lusso. We're making our way into London on board the team car, the Audi RS3 saloon that we run over at the Shmuseum, and thankfully it is a fairly nice day. Very exciting for picking up a new car, and I say a new car, of course, it is a used Ferrari GTC4Lusso. It is new to me. The car has done about 11,000 miles, but I've really gone for it because it's all about the spec and some of the ideas that I'm planning ahead, what we're going to do with it, with the SF90. And I've also heard that in the showroom right now, there might be something fairly spectacular alongside, which we'll hopefully see quite shortly. And just as we're arriving, we spot a Ferrari. That's an F8 Tributo. The showroom, the flagship Ferrari showroom here in Mayfair, is just over there, where very shortly I think we are going to be able to see my car. So a bit of traffic around today. We are in the centre of the city after all, but let's make our way around and see if we can see through the windows. Here we are then. So what do we have here? I can see it undercover and I can see a LaFerrari. So inside the showroom here, there's a Roma on the right, my car in the centre and a LaFerrari on the left. We'll get parked up and then go and take a look. Here we are then, but before we get to the Lusso, alongside here is an extraordinary LaFerrari in Nero Daytona, one of the 499. This car also has the carbon fibre shields, the carbon centre caps on the wheels, the full black but with the red accents on the interior. One of my favourite cars, and with a 6.3 litre naturally aspirated V12 that just so happens to have the hybrid system as well. That engine to die for. 6.3 V12. We'll get to this in a second. Alongside on this side, we have a Ferrari Roma in Rosso Portofino with a crema interior. Now that's the colour for the interior that I had back on my FF, which was my first Ferrari. I love the interior of the Roma, but I suppose we should have a look at this. The car that we've come to see today, that fairly distinct shape with the hatchback at the rear, the estate Ferrari. Let's have a little sneak peek just here. Show you the colour. Blue Potsy. It's a very dark, flat blue. Looks amazing in the sunshine. And another little teaser, actually. Look at this. SH63 MEE for this one. 63 because 6.3 V12. Anyway, let me, I think, fully reveal this to you and show you the new Shmeemobile. I've been signing all of the paperwork, everything is done, which means this is now my new car and it's ready to be revealed to you. So let me do this, pull the covers back on the lovely blue potsy GTC4Lusso V12. The specification of this car is genuinely what sold it to me. The overall look with this interior, which is just stunning. It's a heritage paint color. It's a traditional Ferrari color, blue potsy, this straight, very, very dark navy blue. But then have a look on the inside of it. Look at this, very different to my previous Lusso. In here, we have the main color in Sabia, the light cream, which is exactly the same as I've ordered on my SF90, with all of the blue inserts that you can see in blue sterling, again the same color. But in this case, the central tunnel is in blue medio, a slightly different shade. But this, with the SF90 together, is going to look awesome. I'm going to take my first step into it on the driver's side, climb in here. That feels very, very familiar. We've got the carbon fiber LED driver's zone, the carbon steering wheel. We've got the electric seats as well. And very kindly, a nice little gift here as well, which I'll check out a little bit later on, this matching leather folder. But this is a completely different look to my old car, significantly upgraded from the FF. We've got the passenger display, which illuminates and gives various bits of information. We've got the main infotainment on the center screen. And crucially, we're going to have a pretty amazing sound from the engine, which we should go and take a quick look at, because this is a very big part of what this car is about. The V12 as opposed to the V8 Turbo, which is a great car, but look at that. A work of art, a Ferrari masterpiece. 12 cylinders, 6.3 litres, naturally aspirated, 690 horsepower, a heavenly sound, beautifully clean and wonderfully presented, I have to say as well. And being the V12, you've got the four-wheel drive system, the 4RM, Ferrari's specific system, hence tying in with the winter tyres that I have back at home for it. Let me just close this down. Wow. Right, let's have a better look. I want to show you in the back of the car. Now, the Lusso, unlike the FF in its early days, has a power-fold tailgate, which seems like a luxury on this kind of car, but back here, we have the lovely light-coloured Alcantara to match with the Sabia interior. We have thrown the cover over the top of the car, so it's quite dark, just to keep things secret. We're in the centre of London, of course. I don't even know why we're trying, because it's not secret at all when you do this kind of thing here. And then you get the personalisation specifications plaque here, which has all of the options for this particular car. It is a very, very smart spec. Then down here, we have the bag that effectively comes with all Ferraris, with the cover, with the smart charger, and with seat covers and other things inside it as well, which is in every single one. But one thing that Ferrari do super cleverly with all of the new models is that where you plug the charger in is actually just down here, there, on the outside of the car. You literally just connect it and done. It's really trippy seeing this plate on a Lusso rather than the G63. I know that's probably going to be a little bit controversial, but 6.3 V12, now I've got to find something that connects to the car, and that seems perfect. So it's wearing that Shmee plate. I just think with a light-coloured interior, it suits it so well. So I need to do the final handover document to say all is well with the car. Then we will get a cold start, I guess. We'll pull it outside and go for the first drive back towards the Shmuseum. Look at this, the bright silver wheels, silver calipers, dark blue paint. But let's have the start-up then of the V12. Yes. Now, by default, it's valved, so this is slightly muted. We might work on that in the near future, but it is time for this car to be brought outside. Look at that. So cool. I cannot wait to get behind the wheel of it in just a moment. This is pretty fun. The car comes outside for the first time then. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. I am very much looking forward to driving this in a moment. I love the shape of the Lusso at the back, that distinct hatch. Right, we're going to hop in and off we go. We're about to go and there's an Aventador coming by. Just London things. So, in the car, engine running, ready to squeeze on out. Thank you very much. Cool, we've got the RS3 behind us. But here we are, in my GTC4Lusso again. All right, let me close the window quickly. Oh, it immediately feels good. It immediately feels good, even just crawling in central London right now. Wow, here we are, back in a Lusso. The thing with this car is it's a beautiful balance between being easily dailyable, loads of space, comfortable, a nice car to drive, especially in a spec like this. Just really, if I can say so myself, tasteful, really smart. That's what attracted me to this. But then on the other hand, you have a front mid, nearly 700 horsepower V12, ready for absolute fun and the most extraordinary of sounds. Now, because it's cold, I can't exactly immediately make lots of noise with it, so we'll take it pretty easily and gently to begin with as we head on out, and almost a little bit of car spotting as we go, depending on what we find on our route. Taycan just there, and I suppose that's one to talk a little bit more about, given I went from a Lusso to a Taycan, and I've now gone from a Taycan back to a Lusso. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused, I know, but anyway, this is the way to go. This is Ferrari. Hey, is that the F8 Tributo we saw earlier? It might be. I suppose I need to skip past quickly so that we don't get spotted anywhere in case anybody's around having a look. Bentega's on every second corner. We've got the RS3 in tow. I've got a lot of settings and things to play with and set up and get everything exactly how I want it, but I'm taking it super steady as we do the first miles. It sounds good, you know, it feels really new. Everything's tight, everything's proper, everything's how it should be. And that is, of course, exactly what you want from a car like this. Oh, this is cool. It's so nice. The Spec, this dual-tone dashboard with the Sabia leather, the GTC4Lusso logo down there. Really, really like it. We've also got the lift system if we need it, although generally don't really. The car has enough ground clearance. Ah, good times. Right, let's head on out and make our way back. Well, that is a lovely coincidence. A rather nice silver 488 Pista alongside us in the traffic jam. We've had a fair bit of traffic so far and roadworks in front, but that's how any journey in a new car is going to begin if you start in central London, unfortunately, as we have done today. As presumably the SF90 might, or maybe we have some big plans with that. Yeah, that's pretty nice. To be honest, the Pista is a car that has grown on me the more. Oh. Cool. Anyway, it's a gentle chill to get from here back to base. Just afternoon, usual London, doesn't change much. It's really strange being back in a car that I'm actually very familiar with, but obviously with all of the settings done quite differently to begin with. I've been going through a few of the things in the main infotainment, and then on the driver's dashboard you have two different screens. You have the left and right digital displays, which you can set up quite a few different things. So I've been going through those and basically trying to remember, but also relearn everything about this car. But it's such a nice car to basically cruise in. You know, while we're driving, we've got this massive panoramic roof above us. We've got the RS3 on the flyby at the moment. Unfortunately, yeah, just kind of sitting in traffic jams, which does not give us an opportunity to enjoy the V12. Now, by default in the Lusso, as you heard earlier, it's actually quite aggressively valved, so it's very quiet and soft in terms of the sound to begin with. You can get a switch. I had a Novitec Switchtronic on my previous Lusso, or you can just have the valves permanently open if you want a little bit more V12 noise. And if I press the auto button and we go manual, obviously we'll hold the gears, but we're not really going to be going fast enough to get into nice V12 symphony territory, we could say, especially when we're moving at a snail's pace on our way out of town. There we go. And that's pretty much all we're going to get today. If I pop the window down just a touch, drop it into first gear. What a sound. And of course, because it's a used car, it's already run in, it's good to go, it's ready to be enjoyed as much as we can today. You never need to make one of these louder, by the way. There's plenty of sound to begin with. You can go crazy. I've filmed some of the 812 Enlagos and things over the years. You don't need that. In fact, you take away from the daily drivability of it, which is in many ways what this is now going to be, I guess. So I don't really want to go over the top with it. Just this journey, unfortunately, is one of those back into auto. Yeah, it's a cruise. It's here then, the first Shmeemobile Ferrari at the Shmuseum. Of course, we only moved into this venue about half a year ago, so the first Ferrari that I have owned since. And it's fascinating to see it actually under the lighting in here when the blue epoxy paint looks super, super dark, but you still get a really nice view through to the interior. And I always like different color schemes. Cars that obviously, well, as you can see, looking around, mix and match, different types of colors, different types of ideas or themes, some slightly more out there than others. But for a car like the Lusso, which suits that very classy look, I think this color combo works so well on it. And as I said, also a different blue Ferrari for the Shmeemobiles, in addition to the blue Le Mans, the blue TDF on the previous Lusso, and the blue Electrico coming on the SF90 as well, and the silver wheels and silver calipers just go with that. Now I'll have a full spec dive about this particular car over on the Shmuseum channel, as we like to do with some of the cars in the collection. So if you aren't already checking out the videos there, please do subscribe and check them out as well with the team, as we're going to be making a lot more progress very soon here at the garage. We've had the installation of the lifts and the banners, but the mezzanine and office is going to be starting very soon as well. I'd like to say a big thanks to the team at HR Owen Ferrari Mayfair. They've done very, very nicely with this car. It was all quite spontaneous, happened very, very quickly, but a big thanks to them and for the upcoming SF90. Now we need to talk about the aforementioned tour with this car. You might have noticed the paint protection film. It did actually get, with its first owner, it's a one owner car from new, full paint protection film from Topaz. So it has full PPF on it already. The front does have a few marks from bug splats. Presumably it's been on a tour across Europe at some point in the past. And the dealership did offer to have that replaced at Topaz and are still offering to have it replaced. But given I'm intending in about a month or so to take it on a massive trip, preferably with a stop in Maranello for a certain other blue car, perhaps, if we can set all of this up, and it will do maybe 3,500 to 4,000 miles on the trip that I have planned. It would be foolish to change that in advance, especially with warmer weather coming. It's probably only going to get exactly the same afterwards. So what I think we will do is keep it as it is, go do that tour, and afterwards fix it up and make it look sharp, and do that at Topaz along with the SF90. Now that's a whole topic on its own that's also very complicated, because with the new customs, borders, Brexit, etc., the car comes here to the UK to get PDI'd. It will probably get Topaz PPF, and then it will go back to Italy. I know it sounds a bit round robin, but how cool would it be to collect my first ever new Ferrari, having driven there in the other Ferrari, at the home of Ferrari in Maranello, near Modena in Italy. That sounds like a pretty epic journey to me. So stay tuned for that, hopefully coming not too long from now. For today though, I've heard that one V12 is good, but V12s in pairs are even better. Stay tuned, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers!